Hi there, my name is Megan Labrie. I am the Director of Tourism for Thailand, and I wanted to personally thank you guys for inviting me out to present a new tourism idea that I have for the country. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it there in person, so thank you so much for letting me join you guys via Skype. Whenever I originally took this role for Thailand, I thought about their exquisite cuisine, their outlandish architecture, as well as their sacred temples. So I had to ask myself, like, what other areas can we venture out in? Why tour Thailand? That originally brought me to the main driving force for tourism at this time, or has been at this time, is going to be the five-star resorts and beaches. There has been many films produced out there, including James Bond, another UK video as well called The Beach, but it's driven a lot of people to want to go out there and visit these locations. With that being said, these beaches are now kind of being torn apart a little bit with a lot of litter and trash, and unfortunately they're not able to restore back to their natural state because of how many tourists are in these areas. So my job taking this role was to try to produce more tourism activity and excitement towards either central or northern Thailand at this point. So with that being said, the next sort of piece of tourism or type of tourism that gets a lot of popularity here is going to be in our historic tourism region. So that is our sacred temples that we have, surrounding Bangkok, some of our prayer facilities, as well as our Buddhist statues that are kind of littered throughout the country as well. That creates a lot of tourism, and another reason why Thailand is so great. A second piece of tourism that we touch base on is going to be the architecture. As I mentioned previously, there's a lot of outlandish architecture there. Two that I'm going to touch base on is going to be our robot building as well as our elephant building. Luckily, these are multi-purpose buildings, so there is actually hotels that are provided inside there. So when a lot of people come to tour Thailand or Bangkok at that point, we get a lot of visitors in these buildings, which kind of drives the popularity around there to venture out and kind of stay there a little bit longer. Hopefully this will help kind of drive tourism out of those southern regions and stay in more of a central or northern area as well. Our next piece that I'd like to touch base on is going to be our agritourism as well as our sustainable tourism. These two types of tourism are gaining popularity as we speak. So a lot of our villages, a lot of the people of the villages will invite our tourists to come out and come make either a day outing of it, or maybe even stay a couple days to show them the crops that they produce and kind of start to finish how they grow it, what it produces, and then typically how to cook that as well. So it's been a very interesting, and from what I hear, very popular type of tourism that is now is helping us try to get people out of that southern region so we can kind of revamp those areas. One of our other wildly popular parts of tourism, something that I personally love, is going to be the gastro-tourism that is in Thailand. Our street vendors, or our street market, I should say, is one of the largest in the world, with about somewhere about 9,000 to 15,000 booths, driving about 200,000 people to those regions. So if you can only imagine what that would entail, the different types of food and people and nightlife that's going on in those regions, it's doing a great job of boosting the economy in those areas, and obviously getting these different types of foods out on the map as well. And then our last piece that I'm going to touch base on is going to be our wellness tourism. This is a new, I wouldn't say new, but it is another widely popular sanction that we have really honed in on. The different types of retreats that are being offered now our weight loss retreats, sleep deprivation retreats, detoxification retreats, holistic yoga. I mean, there's so many things that we have to offer now, and these can be anywhere from 1 day retreats all the way up to 14 days. A lot of these retreats will offer different types of classes so that you can take these lessons and kind of holistic behaviors home with you as well. So the last piece that I would like to touch base on is going to be the type of tourism that I think would be a good driving factor to have more people come out and stay centrally or in other parts of Thailand. And that is going to be our Sak Yink retreat. So this could incorporate parts of our wellness tourism, artistic art tourism, as well as our cultural tourism. I think that this is a retreat that many people would enjoy. I know that there's already tourism for this. People will come from all over the world to receive one of these types of tattoos and go through the process of getting one, but there's not necessarily a retreat based on it. These tours are about anywhere from a day to half a day, and I think that we could stretch this out a little bit longer, make it more of like a week type of retreat that can incorporate, again, all three types of tourism. It can also give local boost to the local economies. Have these kind of retreats peppered throughout Thailand because there's different styles of this tattoo art. So whether that be with like the bamboo tip compared to a needle point, or just the type of process that they go through, that's going to vary depending on the region that you're in for Thailand. So I think if we can incorporate classes on, maybe tattoo artists come in and they can learn the types of symbols that are created, what the meaning is behind each monk that creates these tattoos. They have their own special type of ink, so you're not going to get the same type of ink from each monk. So there's a whole process that they go into creating the ink for these tattoos, and it's made with snake venom, Chinese charcoal, various other types of bases that will create this type of ink. So maybe classes on that, as well as a whole meditation piece on how to be solid with oneself. But I think that if we could create this type of tourism and start inviting it out there, these tourists that come just specifically for these tattoos, we could drive more profit and obviously a little bit more an economical boost to these areas and give our locals jobs, whether that be in service or in hospitality, but at least it could create a whole new infrastructure that could help with Thailand. But thank you so much for listening to my proposal at this point, and I cannot wait to join in this adventure with you guys.